Before we get into the game, Dobes, I want to get your reaction to the headline that surrounded this game, which was that Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho were completely dropped from the matchday squad, didn't even make the bench. When you saw that Sunday morning, what were your thoughts?
To be honest, I was buzzing. I think it's one of those things where too long we've had managers that have been extremely scared to make the big decisions, and I think we saw that too much with Ten Hag. That Rashford hasn't been on form for the past season and a half, if not a little bit more. And Ten Hag would continuously play him. He would continuously throw him out. He trusted him, which part of that is good for a manager to continuously trust in a player. But eventually, I think you get to a point where I think part of United's biggest problem has been a mentality thing. And when you look at a mentality thing, that doesn't just mean when you're at Old Trafford, when you're away to Manchester City, that doesn't just mean 90 minutes. That means what time do you show up? What time are you in the building? How do you act when you're in the building? What do you do when you're not in the building? You don't go to New York City during the middle of the season when you're not playing well and you're sitting courtside wearing a Louis Vuitton jacket type stuff. Being a professional at Manchester United for so long over the past decade since we left since Fergie left, has not been there. It just simply hasn't. And I said it last week to where I have my favorite players at Manchester United. I have my favorite players that I want to do well and always will. But at the same time, I'm taking a completely different approach to where it's Emmerim's way and I don't care who gets in the way. And so as well as Garnacho started the beginning of the season under Ten Hag, he hasn't been able to find form under Emmerim. And his attitude has been different. His play has been different. And the same thing goes for Marcus Rashford. I will say, Allegedly, nothing has been confirmed. I've watched a ton of different podcasts and stuff over the past couple of days that have talked about how things will come out in Manchester about that, if that happens. And, truthfully, it's him making a decision. And I think, with the results of the game, it's exactly what he could possibly want. And you saw some of the reactions and the comments of the other players after the game. I think one of the reasons we did win that game is because we looked like a team, right? Mm-hmm. We looked like a team. There was 11 players, and then there was 2 to 3 that came on that played and fought for the badge. And I think Emmerim made a statement that essentially said, no more of this bullshit. If you're not going to show up and you're not going to treat the players around you correctly, if you're not going to show up and be a professional, that's minimum, right? That's the minimum effort is what happens off the field. And I also think it's cool that he said it's a week-to-week basis, right? You have, like anything in life, you have 5 days to train. If you don't train well in those 5 days, you don't deserve to play on the weekend.